Is it true that nail salon open on Sunday as well? So you guys work on Sunday? This is the week marked 49 days since your mother passed away. The 49th day is a very important day for your mother. In this 49th day ceremony, I will give a special Dharma talk to your mother and her descendants. Tomorrow we will have a farewell ceremony to send her to the Pure Land of the Amitabha Buddha. The offering ceremony must be very carefully performed. We will do this offering ceremony for 2 consecutive days. Today is the 48th day. I decided to give a Dharma talk for your mother. This Dharma talk will be posted on social media as well. The blessing from this Dharma talk to your mother is unspeakable. Why is that? Because every time someone listens to this Dharma talk, your mother will get more blessing. Question: is the audio-visual system ready? Did you turn on the system yet? Good morning. It is 10:20 a.m. Sunday morning on October 27, 2019. I am Thích, THôNG LAI, present at Pure Land's house in the Shrine of Earth Store Bodhisattva in Amitabha Village, Indio, California, to perform the 49th day ceremony of Nguyen Thi Tet. She was born in 1930 and passed on October 9th, 2019, Southern California. Prior to her offering ceremony, I want to give this Dharma talk regarding ups and downs in our life. This Dharma talk is very valuable because the following reasons. The majority of Nguyen Thi Tet descendants recently taking refuge in Taratna with me. Also, when Tet was alive, she did not listen to many of my Dharma talk. This is a time she can still able to listen and acknowledge things we are doing for her. I gave this Dharma talk and she will be able to listen. The blessing from this Dharma talk is unspeakable because I will post this Dharma talk on social media. As we speak, I use my own accounts to live stream. Do you still remember 49 days ago where your mother passed away? I also gave a Dharma talk in chanting Buddha Sutra at the funeral home. Most her relatives were able to view the ceremony, including those who live in Vietnam and Australia as well. With the help of live streaming, this Dharma talk will broadcast all over the world. Please put your hands together to praise great Gamutra Buddha before I start the Dharma talk today. I'd like to transfer the good merits for all the people who talk to this Dharma talk to Nguyen Thi Tet. At this moment, there are hundreds, thousands of people are listening to this talk. In a year, there will be hundreds of thousands of people listening to this Dharma talk. People who listen to this Dharma talk will change their minds and hearts from good to bad, from selfishness to compassion, so they can face the unhappiness of their lives. We pray for Nguyen Thi Tet with the Buddha name of Huay Trin, or reborn in Pure Land. This is my duty as a Buddhist master to her disciple as we are taking care of her ceremony. Members of this village and Tet descendants, please put your hands together and praise the name of the great Gamutra Buddha before I give this Dharma talk in this Amitabha Village, Indio, California. Namo Thích Kamo Ni Phật. Namo Thích Kamo Ni Phật. Namo Thích Kamo Ni Phật. I am Master Thích, THôNG LAI, sending my warmest regards to people who live in Southern California and all my followers from the corners of this world and Vietnam. The topic of Dharma talk this morning is the ups and downs of life. All of us, Buddhists, Christian, Hawaishism, Buddhists, Baptists, youth and leaders, I now talk about the ups and downs of life, the gain and loss of life. Let me ask you a question. What did you gain since birth till now? Did you gain anything? Yes, of course. First of all, you gained wealth. The gaining is different in each of us. For someone earning $10,000 a month is not enough to spend. However, to someone else, $10,000 is their lifetime saving. Your gain is also different in different situations. Your gain could be someone else's loss. The happiness in one man can also be the sorrow in others. For an example, if you give me a bottle of liquor, I can't do anything with it, and I won't be happy with it. But giving it to a drunk man, this bottle of liquor will make this man very happy because he is gaining. What are your gains? The majority of these groups are descendants of Thet's work in nail salon industry. What are you gaining so far? You gain the nail license, the nail salon, becoming an owner. Palm Spring is getting ready for winter season. Winter is the season of snowbird migration. These snowbird travels here from the colder states. In 2 weeks, you'll be so busy to make money, right? However, your gain is also your loss. There are prices you have to pay. There are no such thing that doesn't have a price tag. To be a nail salon owner, you need nail technician. In 1980, I was also a nail technician, so I understand the headache of being a nail salon owner. How many technicians do you have? Answer, 10 nail technicians. I would be able to estimate your income based on the number of employees. Having 10 nail technicians meaning you have tremendous headache. Do you agree with me? Thet descendants, raise your hand if you are still single. No one is still single. All of you are married. Only you are still single. Ask your friends and brothers, are happy with their wives? Who here does not own a nail salon? Who doesn't have money? Who doesn't own a house? If you think being a nail salon owner is all great, you should talk to other owners to see if it is true. Some say rich people are happy, have beautiful wives, handsome husband. Marry beautiful is happiness? Driving Mercedes, Lexus, BMW, Audi is a pleasure? The truth is, having money, properties, beautiful wives, rich husbands, great job is happiness. Then why some of the billionaires commit suicide? As you know, there are many millionaires who choose to end their lives. When we don't have money, we dream to have money so that we can have happiness. The nail technicians want to own a nail salon so they can have a luxury life. People who doesn't own a house want to buy a house to find happiness. In contrary, people who have house, wife, husband with stable job still complain they don't find happiness. They want to commit suicide even though they are admired by others. There are people like that. Our gains mainly have 5 desires, which are wealth, beauty, fame, indulging, and resting. As a matter of fact, rich people probably can't rest as much as the poor. The nail salon owners can't rest more than their employees. Rich people don't rest peacefully as poor people. Buddha's taught us the 5 desires are money, beauty, fame, food, and resting. If we have all 5, we could claim that we found happiness. If we lost any of the desire, we state that we are suffering. What get along with gaining? The answer is loss. Dawn will follow with dust. You can see that clearly. Everything is not absolute. Did you find your true love yet? In the past, there are times that you went dating with your spouse. There was a time you offer rose to your lover. I'm sure of that. Especially on Valentine's, whether married or not, you would buy roses, right? Beautiful roses have 2 parts, the beautiful petals and the ugly thorns. Any of you in this group have beautiful wives? Meaning you have a beautiful rose. But roses have ugly thorns. Unattractive wives, unintelligent wives will help to have an easier marriage. These wives are not beautiful roses. When you're offering roses, you will need to understand this concept. There are husbands complaining to me, Master, I used to love my wife so much. I gave her roses every day. After years of marriage, I regret because my wife is not the person I pictured in my mind. I told him it is simply karma. He asked me back, why is it karma? Let me tell you, you offered your wife roses. roses have sharp thorns. The seed of karma is offering roses and thorns. Therefore, the fruit of karma is also has thorns. It is normal that your wife has thorns. Can you see the karma in this story? You should have offered your wife the marigold flower. Marigold flowers don't have thorns. Anyone gave marigold flowers to their loves? They will curse you if you do that. How come you don't offer lotus flower? What kind of flower do people offer on Valentine's? Roses. Therefore, the fruit of karma of offering roses is that having a wife with thorns. If we accept the beauty of the rose, then we have to accept the thorns as well. Accepting the sharp thorn cuts on your hands, our skin, our hearts until bleeding. We have to understand this. The reason men offer roses is because it is hard to win the hearts of these women. Because these women have beauty, have fame, have great jobs to make money. Therefore, men have to offer roses to win the hearts of these women. Lotus doesn't have thorns, but it has an unpleasant smell because it came from the muddy ponds. We need to understand that. My point is, all the great things come with unhappiness and suffering. Let's talk about the loss. The biggest loss in your life is your mother. In the past 49 days, you lost the most valuable thing. There's nothing in the world that can replace your mother. If you lose your house after 5 to 7 years, you can buy another. Losing your car, you can buy another one as long as you have your job. If you lose your wife, you can find another wife. We can replace most of these things we lost. If you lost a friend, you can find another friend, but you cannot find someone to replace your mother. Losing your mother is the biggest loss. I want to open your mind to realize there are losses that cannot be found, and there are losses that you can replace. We tend to ignore the big picture so that we can find the small irrelevant details. Some spend their entire life to seek for fame, for social status. Your nail salon has been the most famous one. Your nail technician are the most skillful ones. In nail business, when you hang out with others, you like to ask, hey, how many technicians do you have? My salon has 10. Mine has 17 or 18. Based on the number of the technicians, you can brag about your salon, about the location so people can be impressed with your wealth. A nail salon with 10 technicians, you can estimate the production in a year. But these don't do any good for you. These are the things you can find again if they are lost. Most of us keep forgetting the most precious treasure is our own mother. Anyone that lost their mother, you can understand this. She has been gone for 49 days. It seemed like a dream that you cannot accept. Is it true? You cannot accept your own mother's death when you step inside her house. I do this Dharma talk not to blame you, but to help those who have mother understand. To help your children who still have both parents understand what is the real gain or loss. In Buddhist point of view, men who has billions of dollars, but his mother is not with him, he is poor. For example, will you trade your nail salon, rental lease, all your meals to have your mother again? Will you do it? Yes. But these are the things you can make, you can build, or you can buy. But if you lose your nail salon, you can build another one. If you lose the nail technician, you can hire a new one. But you lost your mother. You cannot find another one. Are you married? Please raise your hand if you are married. Only one? Please put your hand down. When your husband said that he loves you the most, he did not tell you the truth. He lies to you. And on the contrary, if the wife said the same thing, she also lies to her husband. Only your mother can claim this statement, because the mother's love is to her children is unconditional. The love between husband and wife are not. I want you to think about this. If you really think you love your wife, would you still love her if she loves other men? Would you? No, you wouldn't. Therefore you love yourself the most, not your wife. However, your mother still loves you, even though she doesn't matter who you love. The mother loves her children unconditionally. You will be happy for your child if your child is rich, but she will love you more if you are not. She will still love the child born with defects more than a normal child. Am I correct? She loves you if you are an obedient son. However, she would care for you more if you are a disobedient son. I talked about this to you so you will see in life there are loss and gain, ups and downs. All things such as wealth, fame, gain, and loss, win and loss are not important. The biggest loss in your life is the loss of your mother or your father. They are the one that loves you unconditionally. Do you love your children with terms and condition? Of course not. You still love your children whether they love you back or not. The love between husband and wife is different. You only love the significant other if they still benefit your needs. As soon as they stop serving you, the love will be over. Your parents raised you since birth to full growth unconditionally, without asking anything in return. You owe your mother, not your spouse. Sadly, most of us repay to the ones we don't owe. Can you see that we refuse to pay our debts to our parents? You have lost someone that loved and cared about you most, someone who loved you unconditionally. Those who still have parents should know that your parents are the most precious treasure, because your parents are the one who truly love you. To tell you the truth, I only love you because you listen to me, still come to visit me, still donate to me. As you can see, I love the system, not you. This is the truth. Only your parents truly love you. I want to explain this so that you can understand the person who carried you in her womb for almost a year, who's suffering near death to give you life and birth. Being a parent, you now understand your mother's love. When your children being mean to you, ungrateful, or disobey you, you will love your mother even more. But it is too late. You cannot. You can no longer live with your mother. You have your own responsibilities, wife and kids, monthly bills and work. Will you still live with your mother? She sat to watch you eat dinner. I know your mother loves to cook because she likes to have family dinner. Is that true? She likes to cook meals for you. But sometimes you tell her, Mom, I am too busy today because I have to attend a party hosted by my boss. Or, my friend asked me to join her karaoke party. But you forgot the person that truly loves you is waiting for you to have dinner. She prepares these dinners with love for her children. Why would you leave her to have fun with your friends? What is the reason they ask you to come over to join their karaoke party? So that all of you can brag about your diamonds, to brag about yourself? These are not honest friends. They have two faces. They only show you one of their face, not the true one. They invite you to come over because they know they can ask a favor from you. Sadly, you spend all your time for these people. You eat, drink, dance, and sing karaoke with them while your mother is waiting for you at home by herself. Your mother is the one that loves you with all her heart. She's the one inviting you to eat without asking a favor in return. You will see after the karaoke parties, there will come demands. I want to tell you this so your mother's soul will be happy. When your mother is still alive, I would not be able for you to listen to this. If I asked you, you would say, Master, I am busy. I want to listen to your Dharma talk, but I can't. Let me send you a check because I have to go. At the time, you didn't want to hear my thoughts. Now you lost your mother. You lost the person that loves you the most. The person who cooks your meals with love and takes care of your needs without asking anything in return. Your friend asked you to have dinner with them, but they would ask something in return. A nail technician asked the owner to eat with them because they want to ask for something such as a job for her sister, a promotion, or something like that. It is not important to lose your house, your wives, your husband, car, fame, or social status. All of these things you can have again, but losing your mother is irreplaceable. This is the biggest loss. I decided to talk about this so that your mother will be happy. At the moment, nothing is more important to your mother than her happiness. She wanted me to help you understand that she is the only one that truly loves you unconditionally. Some of you heard the song Lòng Mẹ, also known as mother's love. But you probably did not realize that true love is your mother's love. It is unconditional. Is the love between husband and wife unconditional? No. If the wife has an accident such as burning her face or be blind from boiling water, will the love from her husband still be the same as before? A skillful husband can give his wife a secure life, but because of an accident, he now depends on life support. He becomes a burden for the wife. Will she love and care for him like she used to? Your mother will love you as much as she did, even more before the accident happened to you. Do you agree with me? I want to talk about this so that you can think about the loss and gain in our life. This is the first part of today's discussion. How much did you actually gain, but you lost too much? The second part of today's discussion is the meaning of praise and blame. We all have praise and compliments from others. If you have the same name as a famous poet, you don't know how to compose. Someone praised you by saying, "You are a very good poet. Your poems are so wonderful." Will you let them know the truth? If you have the same name as a great almsgiver, this great almsgiver donated hundreds and thousands to help a leper's village. Someone confused you as him and praised you. He said, "You are so generous. You donate hundreds and thousands to save a whole village." You probably just smiled and not correct this person when they mistaken you as a great almsgiver. However, when people mistaken you with some bad actions, you will correct them with all cost. You haven't robbed anyone yet, but when people mistaken you as a robber, you will curse them. But when they mistaken you with an almsgiver, you will be silent. Can you see the difference between praise and blame? When I praise my disciple, they all love it. I am sure you will be the same. We all love to be praised, even though praising does not help us with anything. Praising doesn't help you get any better when you are ill. It doesn't free you from poverty. It doesn't make you look prettier. But we all love to be praised. You are not good looking, but your coworkers said to you, "Oh boss, you are so handsome." You will not reject her comments. You will happily accept it. We all are happy to accept praises, even though they are meaningless. How many people will praise you with honesty? Can you show me that someone who will praise you with honesty? Or will they praise you with meaningless praising? Only your mother will praise you with honesty. I assure you this is the truth. Your child may not be pretty, but in your eyes they are adorable. A beautiful child is not beautiful if that child is not yours. Do you agree with me? Let me explain. There are two toddlers in this house. One of them is your own child. They both have diarrhea from food poisoning. You don't get disgusted from your own child's mess. The feces from your child doesn't smell as bad as the other toddler. Why is that? Because you love your child unconditionally and willing to clean up his or her mess. From this story, we can understand all the gain and loss, praise and blame, right and wrong, and all came from your thoughts. Yesterday afternoon, there was a disciple come to me and ask, "Master, I need you to do me a favor because I was not finished during the meeting the night before. That lady has an unlovable face. She went to the kitchen to cook with a mean face. Master, please help her to have a friendlier face." I asked her, "Her face is not lovable, or is it your mind? For that lady, is it possible for her to realize that she has an unfriendly face? Please answer me." The answer is no. It was her turn to be the head chef for that week for the village. She had been cooking in hot environments, so her facial expression was not pleasant. But she cannot see her own face. Her face cannot really speak for itself. We used our own thoughts to assume the face was not lovable. We then complained to the abbot to find the answers of the unfriendly face. I asked my disciple again, "The chef's face is not unlovable, or is it your mind that is not?" My disciple answered, "Namo Aida fuck. My mind is not." And she walked away. From now on, anyone complained to me that their Buddhist brothers or sisters have an unfriendly face, I will ask you back, is the face unlovable, or is it your mind? Answer me that, and I will explain to you. Please know that our own thoughts make things become lovable or not. This is one of the reasons I do this Dharma talk. Let's take another step. Let's talk about happiness and sorrow. What really is happiness? Are you the son or grandson of debt? Oh, you are son-in-law. Please tell us in your opinion, what is happiness? Answer: happiness is having both mother and father. That is correct. Happiness is not having a new house. Once you sign the loan for the new house, you are so happy and call your friends to let them know you brought a house in La Quinta to invite your friends over to celebrate. As a Vietnamese tradition, your friends will make a sign say, "New house full of happiness," to celebrate with you. If you get married, they will have a sign that says, "100 years of happy marriage." Are these saying true? Can you show me a couple that's been married for hundreds of years with happiness? Do you know anyone? The answer is no. The truth is, marriage today, couples argue the very next day. I apologize to your mother's soul for saying this. I know for sure within the first month of marriage, her children have arguments. Some of you were doing better than a month ago, but you eventually had arguments in the second or third months. So wanting to have a divorce in 6 months, but you couldn't because your wife is pregnant. You decide to stay with each other because of the unborn child. No one can prove true happiness with Buddhism perspective. The true happiness is having both parents alive. The real happiness is having a new house. The real happiness is not having a new house or beautiful house. If you don't believe me, please ask those married to a beautiful wife. Who will be happy, the one with a beautiful wife or an unattractive wife? Between the handsome husband and unattractive husband, which one will be helpful? The answer is unattractive husband. Attractive people have higher ego than the unattractive ones. Everything has its own price. As 10 husbands that marry 10 beautiful wives, they all have the same answer, that they have more sorrow than happiness. Our ancestor has a phrase for this: the beautiful wife is the wife of the other. It is easier to make fire with the straw. Unattractive husband is more helpful. Raise your hand if you have an unattractive husband. No one raised their hand? Oh, you have an unattractive husband? That is not true. Your husband is not unattractive if you know how to look. You think you have a beautiful wife is happiness, then you haven't experienced the true enlightenment nor having Buddhism wisdom. You think having a big house is happiness? You also don't have the wisdom of Buddhism. Brothers and sisters who live in the same house eat the same food, but are not exactly the same. The balance in your bank account are not the same because of your blessing, your laziness, or your dedication. When you first arrive in the United States, you live in a one-bedroom apartment, then a condominium, then a townhouse. Then you move up to a single-family house, then move to a wealthy neighborhood away from Mexicans and African Americans. But the level of stress and misery increase as you move up to the bigger place. When you live in a rental home, you simply call the owner when things are not working properly. The fridge is not working, the oven is not working, or even the carpet is filthy. You will call the owner. The owner will fix everything, even a leaky shower. It will take 30 minutes to vacuum a 1,000 square feet house. One life is better. You will buy a bigger house. Once you have 2,000 or 3,000 square feet house, it will take hours to clean up. You have to pay more bills, more home insurance, more utilities. Smaller house costs you $50 to pay for air conditioning during the summer. Now you have to spend up to $500. You have to wake up earlier in the morning to get to work. Bigger house needs more furniture, more stuff in the house. At the end, you become the slave of your own home. You clean, you scrub the toilets for whom? For your maids? For your babysitters? For your housekeeper? As an owner, you will hire a Mexican lady or some lady to watch your house. She comes to sit on your couch to watch movies on your big screen TV. To enjoy the air conditioning, she will eat the food in your refrigerator. You and your wife have to work to serve your maid. Who is a real owner in this situation? Who really enjoy the luxury house? When you buy a new car, you would buy the luxury car for the safety of your kids. You become the chauffeur of your maid while you drive your kids to school. Please use your Buddha wisdom to see rich people don't have a pleasure life. Beautiful wife is not enlightenment. Big house and luxury car are burden. Why is that? I travel with my disciples all the time, so I know. For an example, when they drove me to perform a ceremony at the funeral home by an old Corolla, they probably spend $2,000 for it. Once the ceremony has ended, these people will take me to eat at a fancy restaurant. They drove me in a Mercedes car or a luxury car. When I put away my suitcase, I can see the trunks are full of instant noodle. It doesn't mean that they let me eat instant noodle. They still invite me to eat at a restaurant, but they will still have instant noodles later on. Those who drive cheap cars doesn't have instant noodles in their trunk because they have smaller bills than yours, so they don't eat much of instant noodles. You have to understand that is a price they have to pay for an affordable luxury car. Having a beautiful wife is not happiness, but misery. Having a handsome husband is not happiness because of the jealousy. Having a bigger house will require more time to clean up, organize, and maintain. You will have to pay higher property tax. Let's talk about the burden of having children. This burden will not end even when the children grow up and have their own family. Your mother was a living proof. She took care of her children, her grandchildren, and even her great-grandchildren. Can you see her misery? What are the happiness and misery of this life? You already know the misery of life. Losing mother and father are the worst misery. There are secondary and tertiary as well, but losing your parents are the worst. The misery from not satisfying your personal demand is the minimum because we will never satisfy our own needs. It is too naive to marry a person in your dreams because it would not happen. If you want children to behave like this and such like that, you also want to have your staff be like this and act like that. But that is not a smart thing. You also want to satisfy your spouse's demands as well. But it's also impossible. That is a childish thinking. Even the great Gamutra Buddha cannot satisfy your own needs. Your mother loves you unconditionally because she cannot satisfy all the demands of her children and her grandchildren. Do you agree with me? If she spends more time with her grandson, the parents of the granddaughter is not happy. If she spends more time with the oldest daughter, the second daughter will not be happy. If your mother spends more time with the second daughter, then the youngest son will not be happy. The mother loves her children equally, but she cannot satisfy the greed of each individual children. That is the reason I want to talk about the happiness and the misery besides the needs of satisfying personal demands. It is human nature to never stop demanding. When did you come to the United States? 1993? Did you come here with the HO program or the sibling sponsoring program? Sibling sponsoring program, Master. When you first came to the United States with your sibling sponsoring program, all you wish is making $1,000 a month. You carry your cheap plastic bags to shop at the Goodwill store. As time goes by, making $1,000 a month is too easy. You wish to make $10,000 a month. You dream to make $10,000 a month because you think it will give you happiness. Once you make $10,000 a month, you would wish to make hundreds of $1,000s a month. It will never stop. When you buy toys for your kids in the toy store, your kids will do anything to have you buy the toys. Once they have their toys, for 2 hours or less, they would trash the toys. Same with the ladies. They buy clothes on sale, use it 1 or 2 times, and return it to the store. If husband and wives are returnable, you would return it daily. The moral of this Dharma talk is your misery comes from your personal greed. It is impossible to have a wife that is exactly like you. Brothers and sisters living in the same house are not identical. Therefore, don't ask your wife to be exactly like you. It is impossible to have an absolutely perfect marriage. For those who have wisdom, they will demand less. They will step back to yield each other to have a life in harmony. Who can tell me the difference between a 4-wheel drive and an all-wheel drive vehicle? 4-wheel drive is manually activated once you turn it on. All-wheel drive are on all the time. When you replace tires of the all-wheel drive, you have to replace all 4 tires because the transmission box is designed to have all the tires wear off at the same brake. You have to replace all 4 tires in order not to damage the transmission box. On a regular car, you can replace 1 or 2 tires without damaging the transmission box. Same as marriage. Husbands and wives are not alike. Once we understand this concept, we will be free from misery. What happens when you marry a wife with a flat nose? You want her to have a nose with a higher ridge. Man without wisdom will work hard to earn money for his wife to have plastic surgery. Smart husbands would just accept the way his wife is without any cosmetic enhancement. It is still a blessing to have a wife with a nose without cancer. The wife without wisdom will tell her husband to give her money so she can have plastic surgery for her nose. In Asian culture, rich people has big nose are also known as food dog nose. If you have a big nose, it indicates that you are wealthy. Good-looking people don't have food dog nose. One day, there was a lady who brought 2 sons-in-laws to see me for fortune-telling. She asked me to predict which of her son-in-law has more money. I point to the one with the bigger nose. She was so impressed and asked me if I know how to do facial reading. She wanted to know which book I have used. The truth is, I just made a statement based on the size of the son-in-law's nose. The bigger the nose, the easier to breathe. You can breathe easily when life is easier, and wealth will come as well. If your friends want to know how your business is doing, they would ask if you breathe easy or not. If your salon is stuffy hard to breathe, meaning the business isn't going well. No client wants your salon. So if they come, it's just borrowing your restroom, then complain about the broken nail that was done a week ago, that it's difficult time, hard to breathe. Once you understand the husband with wisdom is happy to know his wife doesn't have a beautiful nose but still healthy for breathing, a flattened nose is still better than a nose with cancer, because it will be more miserable if you have cancer. I have a disciple named Wei Min. He probably left the village already. His son was diagnosed with cancer. Kim Van is the youngest sister of the 5 princes of Arizona. Call me. Master, please save Wei Min. His son is diagnosed with cancer. Please help him. Wei Min drove to the village to ask for help to cure his son. He has 3 sons. He said to me, Master, anything happened to any of my sons, I would die. I told him not to worry. I told him to attend the ceremony of the medicine Buddha. Do good deeds, pray to the Buddha, chant the great compassion mantra continuously with me. The son is now cured from the cancer. Wei Min now complained to me this. Master, my son is getting into trouble all the time because he's too active and not behaving. The boy is active, getting into trouble because he's free of sickness and cancer. He prayed for his son to be healthy, to be cured from cancer. Now his son is too active and he complained. When I came to his house to visit, I saw him making his son study very hard. Studying hard because he wanted his son to have a GPA of 4.0. He made his son study so much that the boy couldn't enjoy his childhood. Parents always pressure their children. When a child is sick, the greatest happiness is having the child being normal again. Once the child is cured, the great happiness is well-being, well-behaving. If the child behaves with good manner, he will want the child to study hard. He wants him to be top of his school. He said that his son is suffering from depression. He said that he is suffering from depression because his son only has a GPA of 3.5 instead of a GPA of 4.0. Did the Buddha or Jesus give him the misery or because of his own greediness? Please think about it. The answer is his own greediness. You're happy on the busy day at the salon. Your generosity. You offer coffee and cigarettes to the god of wealth and god of earth because these gods bring you more clients. It is so busy you don't even have time for lunch, but you still smile. If you are happy on the busy day, you should be happy on the slow day as well. You can't smile on the busy day and cry on the slow days. In the sutra, there is a saying, live happily in this busy life. Shall not attach the peaceful mind. Come and go without worry. Nirvana is now achieved. This is a scripture that the monk and nuns have to recite every day. The Buddhist nuns in this village should not let things attach to their peaceful minds. The monks also need to let their worries go so they can always achieve nirvana. As an owner, you should do the same as well. Then you will have reached your delightfulness. The husband whose only attraction is his wife's beauty, he will be depressed as the beautifulness fades with time. The more attractive wife, the faster her beauty degrades with time. Unattractive wife will not change much with time because there was not much to begin with. You will be more miserable drivers with fancy cars or cheap cars. Who will be more miserable with fancy cars and cheap cars? If you own a luxury car, you have to park far away to avoid denting from other cars. Park far away from the crowd. You then worry that someone will break your window. Upon exiting, you have to ensure the alarm system is engaged. Drivers with cheap cars doesn't care where he parks. He doesn't have to worry if someone will steal his $500 car. Because the insurance company will compensate him for $3,000. Therefore, he doesn't worry much. If you are married to an unattractive wife, you will not worry other men will talk or flirt with her. You will probably be happier if another man want to marry her. But if you are married to a beautiful wife, you will be constantly worried that other men will flirt with her. At the party, you will always have to walk next to her to guard her instead of enjoying yourself. Can you see the misery? As time goes by, beautiful wife and handsome husband will become unattractive. Beautiful wife will give you several births. As a result, she will become unattractive. On the other hand, unattractive wife will not change much, even with laboring, because there isn't much to change. If the wife has an unattractive nose or eyes, you will probably spend money for her to have cosmetic surgery. But if she is not attractive, then there is no point in spending money on cosmetic enhancement. Just like cars, if you drive a $30,000 car, you will spend $5,000 or $6,000 to repair the scratch or dent. But if your car is worth $300, you will not spend $1,000 to fix the dent. Therefore, no need to waste money on plastic surgery with unattractive wife. Once you understand this Dharma concept, you will be free from worriness. Unattractive wives and beautiful wives will have the same stench once they are no longer breathing. If you don't believe me, have you ever asked the funeral home to allow them to sleep in the coffin with their beautiful wife for a few days? Both beautiful and unattractive wives have bacteria if you observe them under the microscope. Beautiful eyes and crooked eyes both have gunk. Beautiful nose and flat nose both have nasal mucosa. Pouty lips and cracked lips both have bad odor if they are not brushed, if they don't brush their teeth in the morning. If you understand this concept, you will be able to face any obstacle of life, just like a breeze, happiness and sorrows. All the things that people call happiness are not really happiness. You are mistaken about true happiness. One man's happiness is another man's misery. However, nothing is wasted. Everything has its value. If you divorce your unattractive wife, some other man will be happy to take her in. Just like my old and beaten Corolla, if I throw it away, there will be other happy people to take it. Who would take it? Homeless people. Well, they took Home Duck's broken bicycle all the time. My point is, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Rich people give away their clothes to Goodwill. New immigrants in the U.S. would love to shop at Goodwill. Once the season pass, brand name clothes from Macy's and Nordstrom will be available at Ross for half the price. We brought them to wear for a while, and then we donate them to Goodwill because they have become trash to us. Therefore, your trash is someone else's treasure. If we use the Buddhist wisdom, we will not be affected by the praise and blame. You will not be happier because of the praise, nor sadder because of the blame. There is no absolute happiness and sorrow. There is no absolute happiness or misery. If having a beautiful wife is happiness, then her husband would not complain about his wife. You will have to work harder if you marry a beautiful wife. On the contrary, if you marry an unattractive wife, your friends may tell you, your husband is not beautiful. She doesn't know how to dress. She is not attractive. And so on and so forth. But you will have your wife who serves you in breakfast. She washes your clothes, folds your clothes. She will even put on the socks for you. The ego of the unattractive wife is lower than the beautiful one. She will not demand you to cook, to do laundry. She will not bully your relatives. Unattractive wife will respect your parents, and beautiful wife will not treat your parents with proper manner. You have to realize that things would try to reach equilibrium state. People like to be praised. Once people like to be praised, they would fear the blame. If you don't mind the praise, then you would probably be affected by the blame. The praise does not make you richer. The blame doesn't make you any poorer. If you understand this, you are a truly wise man. You will not blend from the 8 winds of life. The 8 winds are gain, loss, fame, shame, praise, blame, happiness, and suffering. We like 4 winds and afraid of the other 4. The 4 likable winds are gaining, fame, praise, and happiness. The unfavorable winds are loss, shame, blame, and suffering. We're afraid to lose our wealth, occupation, fame, and our parents. We're afraid to get blamed. We're afraid because these winds will bring suffering to us. We are happy when our needs are satisfied, and we are not happy when our needs is not satisfied. No one can give you happiness or suffering except yourself. You make your own happiness. You will be less miserable if you expect less. A man with wisdom would marry an average-looking wife with great manners instead of a beautiful wife without manners. This is what you should do as well. I want you to think which one of these should you follow with the 2 wives. First wife is very beautiful. She has 5 characters: killing animals without hesitation, borrowing but never returning, addiction to gambling, not faithful, not telling the truth, and consume intoxicating material. The second wife is an average-looking wife, but she is compassionate. She doesn't even kill an ant. She doesn't even steal, not even a needle. She doesn't lie to anyone, and she is very loyal with you and does not consume alcohol. Which one will you decide to marry? Answer: the average-looking one. That is what you should say. But I'm sure when time comes, you will marry the beautiful one. After the wedding, you will wish you married the average-looking wife. In our life, We have ups and downs while struggling in our daily activities. In order to have less disappointment, we should be prepared to accept both the good and the bad. No one will be rich forever, nor poor forever. Things will eventually reach their equilibrium. Prior to 1975, before the Viet Cong took over southern Vietnam, all the military officers were living a luxurious life. They have a maid, a chauffeur, and have personal assistants. Once the Viet Cong took over and put the military officers in boot camp to do labor work in inhumane conditions. After years of suffering, these ex-military immigrants went to the United States under the humanitarian operations. They work hard and have prosperous life again. Without suffering in boot camps, they shouldn't have a chance. They wouldn't have a chance if they didn't come to the United States. Life is a series of up and down, gain and loss. I want to point this out so that you can understand and be able to withstand any obstacle in your life. In marriage, you feel happy when your wife fulfills your demand. If you, a gambler, she let you gamble without nagging. You want to drink alcohol, she will let you get drunk with your friends. It will be embarrassing if she keeps calling you to go home at the party when your friend's wife is encouraging him to drink and willing to drink with him. Others will praise him because he has a wife who knows how to party. If you leave your party, your friends probably make fun of you because you let your wife control you. However, can you rest the entire night to get ready for work the next night? On the other hand, your friend probably will end up going in jail because of DUI. It would cost him money for bailing and additional fees for auto insurance, which can be more than $10,000. This is the result from enjoying the praise from other drunkards. You are driving an average car to this village. One of your friends asks, "Hey, how can you drive a car like this when you own a nail salon? Even your nail technician drives a better car than you." Because of this comment, you will spend $10,000 for a down payment to buy a new car. Your $2,000 car costs $60 for auto insurance. Now you have to pay 4 times that for this new car. Every month you have to spend another $700 for the auto loan. In the past, it cost you $35 to change an oil at Jiffy Lube. With this new BMW, you will be paying $500 for an oil change. After 5,000 miles, you will have to spend $1,200 for maintenance. Changing the 4 tires will cost $2,000 more. Can you see the burden from listening to the praise? If you truly live for yourself, your life will be more delightful. When you go shopping by yourself, you wouldn't pay attention to your purse. You really don't know what kind of purse my disciple carry, but these ladies, with one quick glance, they know everything about the purse. They told me, "Master, look at that lady. She is carrying a $3,000 purse." To me, these purses are all the same. I can't tell the difference between a $20 purse from the flea market and a $3,000 purse from the mall. To carry $20 purse has 20,000 in the purse, but the $3,000 purse will have only $30. The husband doesn't enjoy to buy expensive purse. He brought it because of his wife. He will be suffering when he pays for the credit card later. Husband and wife live in a paid-off house peacefully. When the wife asks, honey, your wife moved to a new house already. Why haven't us?" The husband responds, "It is okay, honey, as long as we have a house for shelter." The wife keep repeating until they decide to buy a new house. A $1 million house has a property tax of a few $1,000s a month. Owning $3,000 to $5,000 square feet house, but they live only in 1 bedroom and sleep in 1 bed. They have wisdom but they would stay in the same house and enjoy a happy life. A wife live because of the praise from others will make her husband suffering more. She look at her friend's diamond ring and want to swap for a bigger ring. The funny thing is, my American friends told me that in the United States, the size of the diamond ring reflects the number of failed marriage. Every time she gets married, the new groom will swap her ring to get her a bigger diamond. The Vietnamese are proud of the size of the diamond, but the Americans are not. What is the difference between Vietnamese and American millionaires? The Americans, they don't like to show off their wealth. Look at Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg. They drive cheap cars. The Vietnamese like to show off their wealthiness. They are only millionaires, but show off a lifestyles of billionaires. I want you to tell you this so that Tech's descendants from now on can live a moderate life. You have everything you need. House in La Quinta, nail salon. You have a great social life. Any of you listen to my live stream? It is very good. Will this short-term monk marching with me to Bosa on this Thanksgiving? This is great that you can come. This marching is for the country. Please march with me and my disciples to the Bosa to repay for our country. Tien Hoi will run a hall for us in Bosa. He will provide us the address to post on the web. Do you want me to relieve you from the 10 commands of the ordained or tomorrow? I can guarantee you that your mother is very happy from listening to this Dharma talk because she knows from now on all her children and in-laws will live peacefully, that her children will live moderate life, and know that parents are the most valuable treasure. Please come back tomorrow at 10 a.m. for more Dharma talk in chanting Amitabha Buddha scriptures. After that, we will perform the farewell ceremony. We will wrap up by relieving you from being short-term Buddhist monk life. On Thanksgiving, you will be able to practice Buddhist monk life again. You don't have to be a Buddhist monk or nun to march with me. Please come to support our country from being taken over by the Chinese and Vietnamese communists. Other temples still keep their silence. Only our temples speak up for our country. I am grateful that you decide to come. This is a good way to show me your appreciation and understanding. After listening to this Dharma talk, you still don't come to the marching with me. You are heartless. You have the voice of freedom. Your people in Vietnam is counting on you to speak for them. Not all 95 million Vietnamese back home are rich. Only the millionaire officers, government officers, and relatives are. The remaining 80 million are living in poverty. They are depending on you to speak for them because they don't want to be Chinese slave. The event starting on the 28th of November in this village, we will chant the Earthstone Bhustavist Sutra to pay for our past parents. My disciples from all corners of the world, from Australia and Europe, will attend this event as well. The marching will be on December 1st, 2019. If you cannot attend the Thanksgiving event, at least join me for the March of Freedom. On December 1st, after chanting the Kamandra Sutra, we would depart to Bosa. You have to be ready at the hall around 9 a.m. I will give you instructions along with the Buddhist bowls for the marching. We will walk on the Tran Hung Dao Avenue, also known as Bosa Avenue, for an hour. We'll head back to the hall for lunch and complete the event. I want to emphasize this Dharma talk is about the up and down, praise and blame, happiness and misery. While struggling in our daily lives, in order to have less disappointment, we should be prepared to accept both the good and the bad. This Dharma talk will be available on Facebook, YouTube, and Damwin Temple's website. Everyone listening to this talk will be less suffering, less greedy, less demanding from their spouse to satisfy their self-demands. I like to transfer the good merits from all the people who listen to this Dharma talk to Win, T, Tech, As time goes by, millions of people will listen to this talk. This unspeakable blessing from this talk will transfer to your mother. The great merits will help TTTT with the Buddhist name of Wei Trin to be born in Pure Land. I now completed my duty as a Buddhist master to his disciple by performing her funeral ceremony. Let's get ready to perform the offering ceremony for your mother. Tomorrow we will chant sutra to wish her a pleasure journey to Pure Land. Upon the completion, I will relieve you from your mother's memorial and the 10 Commandments for the ordains of being a temporary Buddhist monk. We are offering this good merit to people of the 10 worlds to become Buddhists. I'd like to say goodbye to my listeners on Facebook and YouTube. We are now performing the offering ceremony.